Jason, you look really tired, man.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Will Walford here with Trucker's Delight, and it looks like we have like a small expansion to our skeleton crew here tonight. So I have Keith Shevelin and Captain Grit. It's the captain for me. You know, he's always been my captain. He's always going to be the captain. I mean, look at him. He has the head for it. Like, you cannot be bald and not be a captain. There's just no way. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or nothing. You got to be a captain, you know, and he works it out. He pulls it off good. It's just shiny. He reminds me of a Whopper, you know, like the kind of candy that you eat. I'm sorry. It's just because Michael, he's so sweet. You just want to eat him up. And then we have Jason over here. Oh,
we're not even a full minute into the show. How did we get here?
I mean, you look like you have a sweet head. Like it looked like
head. Boy, you sure got a sweet head.
Oh my God! Let's put on that bean footage.
At the second light, make a left.
At the second light, make a left.
Right.
If you're listening closely, you now know how to get just about to my house.
Oh my God!
All it says like at the second light, make a left.
Yo, that literally was the icing on the freaking cake. Like I don't even have any apple juice left to sip to that. Like I just
listen. I was just out here living life. You know, life be life, and I just be here.
In the back of a taxi.
In a taxi, supporting a taxi, not an Uber. Supporting our taxis.
I'm so glad you at least you're in the back of something. That's good. Like that.
What?
Anyway, so what are we talking about today, Keith?
Oh God.
Wow. Off the rails so quickly. Marie, run.
Oh God, Marie's gonna kill me as soon as she says this. She'll be like, she's not even gonna text you. She'll be like, just call me like William Wesley Walford. Use my whole government name.
Wesley.
Yeah, it's my middle name, Wesley.
We're gonna go with the shut up Wesley now. You don't let it out the can.
May as well, because I got William. I got 2 Star Trek names, so I'm freaking dope. Like William and Wesley.
William is, William's in every show. Gotta be somewhere. But Wesley, bro, your name should be William Wesley Stewart.
William Wesley Stewart. Okay. So, last week we talked about the writer's strike, and it's been one heck of a cold kick and caboodle of hell and high water going up and down Hollywood. Can you Keith, can you give us like a recap of what we've been going over?
Okay, so last week we did a deep dive into the writer's strike, what the writers were looking for, and how things were impacted by previous writers' strikes, and what looks like what's happening this time.
Right.
Now, there was a bit of news I shared last week leading off that the Writers Guild let it be known that if the Directors Guild reached a deal with MPTP, that would not be enough to end the strike. The strike back in 2007 ended when the directors reached a deal. Well, we got word yesterday the directors did reach a deal.
Oh,
so they now have a new contract with AMPTP. They got more pay, but they were unable to get to tie residuals to the success of a show.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the amount of residuals you would get, they were trying to tie it to if it's, the more times it's watched, they would get more of it, and they were unsuccessful in that. So the Writers Guild is still soldiering on, and the right now AMPTV isn't even talking to the Writers Guild. They're just ignoring them right now because now that they've finished negotiations with Directors Guild, they're moving on to the next guild, which is
Mhm.
the Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists,
Okay.
SAG-AFTRA.
Okay.
They voted this week to go on strike, with 97.9% of voters voting in affirmative, if they do not reach a new deal with AMPTP by June 30th.
Wow.
So we already had the writers on strike. If SAG-AFTRA does not reach a deal before June 30th, then the actors and actresses will be going on strike as well. And then things really will all shut down.
So let me give this. So who do you think stands a better chance at hauling out? Like the writers, hauling out this strike, or like the big companies that says, well, you can go on if you want to. We'll just terminate your show.
Well, the writers won't have jobs. The production companies,
Won't have a show.
well, they have other shows.
Yeah,
But
they're just
they still need writers for
They just
shows,
won't have.
period.
No, I'm saying they just won't
unless
have.
they break,
They won't have
unless
a
they
new
go
show.
more,
They just have their old shows. So
unless they get more reality TV.
Do you think they'll say like, well, if you won't work for us, we'll just get someone who will?
Yeah, there's a
well,
lot of hungry writers out there.
I wonder what the legality is of that. Like, can you? Because I run into this situation at my job.
Mm-hmm.
But can you, if the guild is not giving you writers,
Mm-hmm.
can you go outside of the guild to get the writers?
I think it depends on the agreement that you have locked with them or not.
But
Well,
if they
since
don't,
there is no agreement right now, so
right?
those are the people crossing the picket line. Those are the people that are working.
Because I had this happen at my job where, let's say my company, we put in an order for 80 people,
Mm-hmm.
and the union gave us 40, and we said that's not going to work. And so what ended up happening is we just started grabbing people from outside of the union, from wherever, and they were just like, okay, fine, just do it. Because usually I don't do work, but then I was doing work that day, like hands-on work. I usually just manage, which is I can't. I'm not supposed to do that because of the union. But eventually, we were like, hey, I don't know what you guys got going on, but we need this work done. So we got to get people. I don't care where they come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so whenever you have that case where if there isn't an agreement in place and people go to work and fill in for these people that are in these unions, they're called scabs, and it's fairly common thing that's happened over the years of labor movements where you have people that of somewhat considerably considered to be lesser skills, but obviously lesser experience, that get a chance to fill in. I mean, it's happened when truck drivers have gone on strike, when uh, factories have shut down. They've brought in other people, available labor to fill in. And there are a lot of hungry writers out there. You go to any Starbucks in LA, you're going to find a dozen writers working on their next big
Mm-hmm.
screenplay that, because they haven't sold anything, they're not members of the Writers Guild.
It's hard, and it's hard to get into. If you're a writer, it's very hard to get to that level
Yeah.
of being in the game. Like you have to have an agent, it's hard to get an agent, and it's crazy. It's a lot harder than getting to, like, let's say SAG, the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, SAG, you can get anyone that appears on screen does not automatically make you a SAG member. As soon as you speak on screen, you're automatically a member of the Screen Actors Guild.
Automatically?
Yeah. You're
So
granted membership. If you have a speaking part in any major motion picture or television project.
Mm.
At least that's my understanding of it.
So that kid in the Red Balloon movie, when he was like, balloon, balloon.
Yep.
He said SAG.
I have a good friend of mine who was in the Chris Rock "Hail to the Chief" movie about Chris Rock as a alderman from DC running for president.
Oh yeah, that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, she was one of the high society women at the party that was dancing to Nelly. She got her SAG membership from singing along to the song in one scene in that movie.
Hmm.
And she's been in several other projects over the years, but that was the one that got her membership.
But here's a question: Does it depend on the quality of the movie?
No.
If me and you make a movie,
Well, like I said, major motion picture. If it's
major motion picture, okay.
I mean, if it's an art house flick, that might count but it has to be produced by one of the major companies and
Well, that's
expected wide release. So, like, if you're just posting it on YouTube or anything, that definitely doesn't count.
Okay.
Oh my God, Michael! He came out of the back of the car.
Yeah.
He has entered the light.
Let me tell y'all something.
Enter the light.
Oh, wait, question. Is Pat Robertson there? Just
I
checking.
need.
It's
new
almost
friends.
just a floating head that's just floating around.
I need new friends because ain't none of y'all text me, call me, WhatsApp me, Discordiant me, whatever you would do to say, Michael, did the cab driver kidnap you? You just dropped off the call. You just disappeared. Y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all were just like,
We knew
Anyway,
the
so back to where we were going, back over
We
here.
got the car. We figured
I'm
you
just
were getting out
saying,
of the
like,
car.
I may not call you, but I'll definitely boot you. Welcome back.
bro. We
So
knew the
you were getting out of the
The
car.
founders had your
As-
back.
as-
The founders had your back. We knew the founders were gonna take care
but
of it.
pause a moment. You know
Okay.
what? Christopher Pike said Starfleet is a promise.
What the fuck?
What?
It's a promise.
My life for your life. And y'all just left my life out there.
Yeah, Keith just took him himself out. I didn't do this. I swear to God, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
You're on the controls.
You know, I got too real for Keith. I was too real.
Oh my gosh, Law, Michael done found the light, literally. Like,
Yo, you need to put on a different color shirt, man.
I'm gonna say you look like a floating head right now, and I'm here for it. You look like a scene off of Manifest.
Well, let me tell you something. You're getting a good view, so.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like I feel like I'm on a sequel to Bruce and Evan Almighty. Like, I feel like you're like, I don't know what spinoff angel you're gonna be in Bruce Almighty. I feel like you're like.
Well, we did have the Good Omens 2 trailer.
You know what? I know who you look like now. Have y'all seen Lucifer? Who is the head? Who is the strongest angel in Lucifer?
I haven't seen that.
Gabriel?
No, not Gabriel. He
Michael?
was not. No, not
Why
Michael.
why would Gabriel not be the strongest?
No, he's just the one who's known the most. He ain't the strongest angel.
Then it would be Michael.
No, it wasn't Michael. That was
Oh,
that was
the
Lucifer's
Metatron?
twin. He was like the head. He was like the head of the army. He had the same head.
Keith, are you into Terry Pratchett?
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude's whack.
Oh my God!
Michael-
Now I gotta look this
The
up.
Archangel Michael is the one that's the head of the military. Head of the.
Lucifer.
So wait.
A minute deal.
Oh, okay.
So wait, are we talking about the angel that's about to come and protect our writers and make sure that our writers get paid appropriately?
I mean, if that angel looks like DB Woodside, then yeah.
Listen, we
He
need
fine,
the
too.
we need the angel of adequate compensation. We need the angel of fair pay. We need
Is there an angel that does that? Because I feel like Jason's giving you that stern Spock look right now.
This is how Michael looks right now, like he's just floating around. We need to and everybody talk about this and that. Take a turn on Left Street and then go down there.
Listen, if you listen closely, you actually learned how to get to my house. Don't show up here. We be ready. But anyway.
I don't need to be going to your house. So, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go just to find out.
No, you know what? That was not a comment for you. That was for our thousands of fans across the country that we love and that we adore. And that we
Thousands.
want you to continue to support us and actually continue to show up. And we also want you to support our writers on shows like Star Trek Strange New World Season 2, which is going to premiere next Thursday. And we'll have a great video for you. But
like and subscribe. Do it now. Hit that
until
button.
then, like and subscribe to make
Hit
sure you
that button.
hit that button. But also, can we talk a little bit about our writers?
Yeah, man.
We were.
We were.
Listen, I had to go off about being abandoned.
Abandoned?
You got out of the
I didn't know when you kidnapped. Which one was it? Like
I was kidnapped and y'all abandoned me. Y'all didn't even call a text. Find a friend, find a
what?
move.
Got out of the cab.
Michael, how are you like the baby of the show? You are the damsel in distress.
Did
Like
Governor DeSantis put you on a plane to California? Because that's a kidnapping.
What?
I feel
we'll
like
see
you
what the
like
law
being
says.
kidnapped. I feel like you like being kidnapped. I feel like you have too much Blanche Devereaux in you. Like you just want to be kidnapped by a man. Like
Listen, if it's the boo that kidnaps me, I'll take it every time.
What? Nobody wants to be
Yes.
kidnapped.
Michael is dating. I don't even believe it sometimes, but he actually is.
dating who?
Don't worry about it.
Michael, do you mean you?
Yeah, I had to literally pull myself into the third person in order to believe it myself.
You must be in heaven right
Do
now
you, like,
because
not
clearly
date
you
for a
ain't on
while?
earth.
I've never not dated before in my life.
Well,
You
you're about
haven't?
to experience that.
I have-
Congratulations
I have-
again.
Right. I guess I'm not gonna be dating right now.
So what did we talk about? I do want to know what we talked about on the writer's strike, though. Where did we find what was the latest news that you gave Keith?
Keith is just reading Playboy. He's just reading Playboys right now. He's just like, man.
Okay, so going back for the benefit of Michael, last week we had discussed the fact that a previous writer's strike ended once the Directors Guild reached a deal with Hollywood, with AMPTP. Well, Directors Guild reached last week. WGA said they would continue to strike even if the Directors Guild reached a deal. And yesterday, the Directors Guild did reach a deal. So the directors are prepared to go back to work, and they are getting a slight pay increase, but they are not getting the residual boost that they were hoping to get. So the writers are still holding out, but the big news is the Screen Actors Guild voted yesterday to strike if they do not reach a deal by June 30th with AMPTP. So that could be and the actors on strike. So nothing's getting made if that happens. Because right now we've got shows that are still getting made in Canada, shows that are still being made overseas. I know Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power wrapped up filming last week, even though the strike was still going on. And the Star Wars show, The Acolyte, wrapped up filming yesterday.
Okay.
Is this global? So what is the jurisdiction of?
Okay, well, it's the Writers Guild of America, West and East. There's two separate guilds, one for the East Coast.
Oh, they're two separate things?
So if you do something in another country, none of this applies? Or is it because...
technically, it depends. Because I believe Canada is covered under the agreement. See, this is where we really benefit from Marie being here, but understandable.
Our resident legal expert is not in.
Yes.
Please keep her in your prayers, because that's our baby sister needs us.
But
Sister Marie.
Overseas, the Writers Guild has no sway because individual countries have their own unions and everything and their own rules. So while the guild may be unhappy with certain shows and movies still being produced, there's nothing they can do about it. But as far as production in the United States, things where they felt that they can't get by without writers, like the talks, the late shows, Saturday Night Live, Daily Show, all of those, they've been shut down because they cannot survive without writers. And then other shows where they had to make a choice, like Andor, the Star Wars show Andor, they had everything written, and season 2 they started working on, but then they ended up shutting it down because the showrunner, being a Writers Guild member, decided he needed to be on strike and not continue working.
So what do we have in the can as far as Star Trek?
All of Strange New Worlds season 2 is complete.
Right.
Production work, everything of Lower Decks season 4 and at least a few episodes of Prodigy season 2 are written. And
what about Discovery?
Discover. All right, of Discovery, 10 episodes are filmed and ready.
Oh,
Yes.
Michael Burnham coming to the house.
Because if they hadn't have canceled Discovery, tonight we'd be talking about the 9th episode of Discovery.
Yeah, we would. We really would.
The gap between the end of Picard and the beginning of Strange New Worlds is 8 weeks. So we would have had the last episode of Picard. We would have had the first episode of Discovery season 5, and we'd have the end of Discovery season 5 the same night as the first night of Strange New Worlds.
Which would have given us another new year of Trek.
Exactly.
Yes.
But then they decided to cut bait on Discovery. And because this was the only 10-episode season of the show, to wrap it up, they decided to quickly write 3 more shows and produce them. So those shows have shut down currently. They're not currently making them. But they were farther along in the process, because that announcement was made well over 2 months ago, long before the writer's strike began, even though they knew the strike was coming.
So they knew that. So there could have been a cause and effect. There could have been.
Yes.
It had an impact.
But I mean, the larger issue is what we discussed several weeks back, which is the volatility in the streaming market.
Right, like what is like the negative ripple effect of all of this, and politically, I mean, this is where Marie comes in, but like I said, we're gonna try and channel our inner Marie. But yeah, like what could be the consequences of this if an agreement is not reached? Let's put it this way.
Well, an agreement has to be reached.
It has to be.
It has to be. They are not going to get by. They're not going to just go without the Writers Guild. There are too many writers that have so much say into these productions that they can just cut them loose.
But to your point, Keith, now that the Screen Actors Guild has agreed, they're going to have a lot more pressure. So one of the big things that was happening before, Hollywood saw this strike coming.
Yeah,
right. They had to have.
So what they did for writers, they were like, hey, under your current contract, you need to write these new seasons. And so they were stacking scripts.
They were getting what they could out of them before the storm came.
Exactly. And so they were stacking scripts, and then they were like, oh, okay, y'all go on strike, we'll negotiate. But they were ultimately, what they were doing was just having the writer or the actors go through the scripts, minor modifications, because you can't make significant modifications to the script without the guild signing off, or the writer of the guild signing off, but minor modifications and moving forward.
Right.
Now that the actors have gotten on board and are like, no, we're not, until they're paid, we're not, they now have the leverage they need.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my inner Marie.
Hey, I mean, and can we take a pause? Hello to the 3 people that are watching. But can we take a minute to pause and look at Michael's hashtag saying needing Marie? We're dedicating today's episode to Marie because we love her. Like, we love her and we miss her, and we know we're gonna see her again, but we're giving all of the good juju energy,
Well, what's that gonna do for all my children in General Hospital?
General Hospital is still on?
I don't even know, bro.
Some of those shows are already gone. So
right.
Those guys got to write every freaking day.
Yep.
I mean, or like, what's that called? The Young and the Restless? You got to write for that all the time.
Yep, every day.
Yeah,
I think only a couple of those. Only a couple of those are still on, though. I think All My Children's gone. I think One Life to Live might still be, in General Hospital might still be on.
Aside from Trek and General Hospital and other soap operas, have other shows been affected or canceled or affect in any way?
Nothing has been canceled yet.
Okay.
Yet. As I pointed out last week, there was a lot of stuff that has been canceled in past years because of writer strikes. Cases of where they may have had something written, but they never got back.
They never aired it.
Yeah. And let everybody go, so nothing new was made after it.
Have there been instances of Trek shows that have been written that never aired because of strikes? Not in today, but like I'm talking about like back in the TNG era.
No,
that's interesting.
See, the last writer's strike was during the wilderness years when we had no Star Trek TV, 2007, 2008. You know, the pre-Discovery era.
Oh,
That was after Enterprise had ended.
after Enterprise, before the
This-
2009 reboot.
Yes.
Can I tell you what I really want to happen post writer strike
That
or
we get
during the writer strike?
that we get Discovery again.
I really hope that writers now have some time to reflect on Discovery and figure out how to fix all the 3,000 plot holes that we've pointed out.
Please do. Please do. Like, do something in Section 31 that is going to be brilliant.
What plot holes? Name one.
Where's
No,
my
no,
Don't fall for it, Michael. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
He felt me winding
Don't
up.
do it.
He literally felt me winding up.
I was like, no.
Stop.
And here's the thing, Michael wanted to take the bait too. Like, he was ready. Like,
I wanted to hear what he had
He
to
was
say.
sucking wind. Yeah.
I wanted to hear what he had to say.
Well, we can start with Michael Burnham's family. But you know what? We here.
Okay.
We here.
did she even know about Cybot?
Can we just not talk about Cybot? Like, he's not even.
I mean, I
Well,
want to know because in my head, the three of them were raised together.
I
No,
think that he's not even. I don't even consider Cybot canon. At all.
Cybok is canon.
He's
now
canon
made
now, baby.
appearances- He's now made appearances in one movie and one episode of TV.
Strange New Worlds.
Yes. And he's expected to return in Strange New World season.
I'm
2.
expecting Cybok to be pansexual.
I don't
Okay.
even know what that is.
Anything goes. We support everyone.
It means anything goes.
We
Yeah.
support everyone.
As opposed to, like, how is that different?
Okay. As
Okay.
I define it, it's bisexual is sexually attracted to men and women. Pansexual, it's sexually attracted to a person regardless of their
Sex or gender.
genitalia or sexual preference.
It's kind of the same thing to me. I
Pan,
figure.
well,
I would disagree.
I put
Let's
it
not get
as-
into that.
I put it as trans. It's bisexual plus trans, trans inclusive.
so pansexual is like personality, and sapiosexual is intelligence, and demisexual is like emotional connection.
So you don't think all that has to do with, like, if you're bisexual, you don't think personality has anything to do with that?
I believe it all plays a part. It's like
Yeah.
like having the major colors. You could be red, you could be blue, you could be yellow or green. It's like which one feels it the most. Or you could
So
very
how's
well
that different from bisexual? I don't understand how it's different.
bisexual is just the gender or sex. I believe it's the gender. It's got to be today. It's the gender that you're attracted to, or both.
Some people consider bisexual as just willing to date men or women,
Mhm.
and just that.
And that's it.
Bisexual.
Just that.
Yeah. And I
Pansexual is like, it doesn't matter if you're trans, it doesn't matter if you're non-binary, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, cis female, cis male, which
Oh,
means
okay.
it means it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like, it's like you can go anywhere. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I think we should
sometimes-
do
heh,
on
What?
LGBTQ track?
heh.
We should literally keep looking at characters that have not had dedicated sexual orientations
Oh, like Q.
and
Put up a picture
explore.
up on the Discord.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I got
No,
it from.
Q does have a sexual
The
orientation.
LGBTQ is literally Q. That's the
No, wait,
best way.
no, hold on. Q has definitely shown sexual orientation, though. He's shown attraction to women. He's never shown any like real attraction to.
There was
The
a
way
Deep
he
Space
was
Nine.
rubbing on
There was a Deep
Picard.
Space Nine episode where he was talking about other things here and there. Like,
The
Yeah,
way
but
he
you
was
can rub
rubbing
on a man
Picard.
can rub on a man and not be sexual. He rubs on him as like trying
Happy
to wind
Pride
him
Month,
up,
by the way.
trying to annoy him, trying to wind him up, trying to like putting him in his place of like, you're my pet. You're my pet and I'm petting you. I don't find it sexual at all. Like, I find he's playing with him. It's playful.
It sounds like it's an exploration we should take on LGBTQ track.
well,
this is definitely an LGBT conversation. Like,
I support it.
I mean, exploring the
support it.
depths of Trek sexuality. Like, what? Like, here's the thing. Even though Jadzia, I'm just real quick. Even though Jadzia technically represents the trans community, technically, even though she was a host, what would you classify, not Jadzia herself, but what would you classify Dax the symbiote?
Omnisexual.
Well,
Omni, yeah.
Like
You
Captain Jack
you
Harkness
don't
on
you
Doctor
don't
Who.
classify Dax the symbiote because it's not defined by Dax the symbiote. It's defined by the host.
No, it's actually
It-
defined by Dax, not Jadzia. Jadzia may
They
add
both
to
have
it.
influence, technically.
They have influence upon each other, but it's like
In
after
certain instances, one takes over.
right. So who's more powerful, Dax the symbiote or Jadzia?
It depends on the situation because remember in that episode that you're referencing, the reason that Dax could not control her own emotions and project her own emotions to the front was because her symbiont was essentially saying like, "Hey, this other symbiont that I used to fuck down back in the day is right here, and I need it. I need that. I need
So
that again."
regardless of gender or sex, Dax was still attracted and in love with what's it? Khan?
Lenora
Yeah.
Khan.
Lenora's.
Why
So,
is her last name Khan? You know, we're getting way off subject. Like,
Yeah.
I've always wondered that. I'm sorry. Like,
Because they
anyway,
weren't thinking.
so I know I
Probably a writer's strike.
did mention because we got here from the writers, and so
hello to the 3 people that are still watching.
but I want to wrap us up. Can we wrap up from the writers? And I just want to know what else. If writers right now are walking around meeting actors, having these conversations, and getting all the support from all of our fans, our thousands of fans across the country,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah,
You
that
were
was-
saying?
What do you hope the writers are thinking about during this time, just like mulling around in their heads related to Star Trek?
Well, I mean, there's writers never stop writing. You don't need to be on the clock to write.
Agreed.
So
Yep, that is true. You write while you take a shower. You write while you drive a car.
yeah.
You write while you do anything.
So this could be opportunities when they're walking, when they're picketing, that they're sharing ideas, they're bouncing things off each other. Writers that are working on Prodigy are talking to the writers that work on Lower Decks to make sure they're not, going to end their season with the exact same storyline of a AI taking over the ships and destroying Starfleet.
Yeah.
But
We won't consider that as shade.
But
what do you want them to like?
Yeah, what do we want them to remember or take from
You
this?
would want them to produce?
Because it seems like it's a consistent every 15 years we get a writer's strike. Like what's going on?
Well,
It's
no,
like it's not
It's because of the technology is why it
Yeah.
happens.
right.
Every time there's a new technology and they don't have rules and regulations about it,
Right.
this happens. So
Yeah.
the next thing is going to be after this when AI starts writing everything.
Well, that's already that's part of this too, though.
Yeah, that's
they're
part of
looking
this
forward.
too, because it's just like, how far do we let I ain't gonna lie to you. I am a little impressed yet creeped out. And I know that Star Trek showed this like pros on the holodeck. You know, you take a holographic photo of Kira and you get to see her and sound like her or whatever. But it's so creepy seeing an AI edit a video for me or seeing a whole other song sung by someone else who's dead. Like it's stuff like that. And it's like now they can write too. Like
Well, you let them write a season and see what happens, see how it turns out.
I mean, this is pretty much how the holodeck is about to be created. Tom Paris anyway. But
Moriarty is coming.
Well,
like what's writing and what's writing and what's not. Like where are we going? What is this?
Well, there was an article that came out yesterday. I can't remember which news source had it, but video game actors, the audio people who record dub text for video games are finding that they're losing work because of what AI can do. They can now someone can write a script and have an AI generated audio with anyone's voice.
Oh my god!
Like I saw a video that purported to show President Biden saying some truly awful things about immigrants to this country. And I
Can
knew
literally
for a
make up
fact there
anything.
was no way that was true. That was
Well,
something he said.
they're gonna have to put laws against it, just like they have
They
laws
haven't even
against
put laws in place
your
for
like.
crypto yet.
All right,
You can't show your
you're
likeness.
trusting Congress to act on this when Congress, the House of Representatives completely shut down this week because of a temper tantrum by the
Oh, I
majority
forgot
Well,
party.
about
it's
that.
not because of Congress altruism. It's because that the people are going to fight about it, and that will be the outcome. I mean, just like you can't show your likeness on screen without compensating you. It's going to be the same thing with the sound of your voice.
Well, I will say that the Copyright Office has been taking steps to try to flesh out policies. They launched an initiative back in March, and I believe their next meeting on it is in about a week, in which they're really trying to work with music recording, video editing, all of that to find a way to properly categorize AI and its contribution to culture. They've already put it as just as the Doctor couldn't copyright his material in Voyager, AI, anything produced by AI cannot be copywritten.
I was gonna say, I think the Doctor, did the Doctor lose in the end, or did he win?
He lost.
I thought he
Yeah.
came to. I thought that he came to a stalemate.
No, he lost.
He lost
They ruled that he had no say on it.
because he was a hologram.
Oh wait,
No.
you're not talking about.
We're not talking about Data.
No,
No.
you're talking about the holodeck program he created.
Yes, photons be free.
Yeah.
Oh,
but like
yeah.
that ended in a stalemate. Like they
Like, they
weren't
couldn't
ready
do
to
anything with
acknowledge
it.
that he was a person and had the right to create, but they did also rule that they couldn't like change the program or use the program as well.
So basically, no one could use the story.
It was still getting out there because it was being shared by the Mark Ones, the programs like him that had been switched to being dilithium miners.
Mhm.
Slaves.
Yeah. But there was a movie that came out a few years ago starring Robin Wright called The Congress, which really is an unfortunate title because that has nothing to do with Congress. But it's Robin Wright basically playing herself in that her son has a medical issue, and in order to need the money, she takes the option to go into the studio, and they offer her, you come in, you spend the day, and we're going to record your voice, we're going to record your face, your features, and just record every bit of you in every way possible. And that way that they can then, like, they're setting up her as an actress that everybody loved, and she's a fantastic actress, but she turned down every good role after Princess Bride is pretty much the argument. I mean, with this alternate history they had. So they had her in like present day recording all this, and then jumping ahead 10 years to where she is the only actress in Hollywood. Where every movie stars her and Tom Cruise.
Dang.
Because they both had their likenesses recorded. I mean, they never say Tom Cruise, but the guy that they have in the end, yeah. And basically everything, everyone's perception of reality kind of fell apart because you suddenly see her at any age. Like they re-released movies that she had turned down with her now in them. They produced new movies with her doing stunts that she never would have done, all of these type of things. But the key thing is that she goes to what actually is the Congress, is a gathering of all the industry executives, in which as soon as you walk in, you're expected to dose yourself with this drug that makes everything turn into a cartoon. And basically society collapses while they're in this meeting.
Actually, I actually do have a question. Because we're kind of like at the part where we're like putting in like what we know about AI and what it can do this and what it can do when you record someone's image and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what we've known from watching past movies and past shows. Now, as far as our personal opinions go, when an AI generates a script, does that script A belong to no one, B belong to the AI, or C belong to the creator of the AI? In your opinion,
in
where
my
should it go?
opinion, it would belong to whoever directed the AI, whoever put in the parameters
Yeah.
to write the script.
Okay.
That's what I would believe as well, because you're not, the AI is not just automatically creating a script.
Right.
You have to say,
You have
these
to
are the
tell her what to
parameters,
do.
this is the type of story, this is who to be involved, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually disagree. I would say so. One thing that I think a lot of people miss: AIs don't create any new content.
Okay.
Not yet, but next year it will be far better than it is this year.
Even
So
next year,
you can't, no,
they
you can't base it on that.
It still has to
AIs
receive
don't.
it. It still has to receive a command.
It's not just the command. It literally combs the internet or whatever the database that it is allowed to access and says, I read it. This is based upon my algorithms and my protocols and my commands. This source is good. Pull from this source, pull from here, and cobble together essentially a research paper.
But
And
that's what people do.
I,
That's exactly what people do when they're writing scripts. All it is a culmination of what they've ever read and ever wrote and ever heard before, and they put it together in a different organization with different names in different places, well, same places,
but
and
it
it's a
would
script.
still
but
belong
we
to those people.
attribute it to those people.
Yeah, to those people.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, and all the AI ends up being at the end of the day is just a tool. It's a tool, just like Photoshop is a tool. You didn't make that
But
picture. Photoshop did. No,
I mean, yes, it's tool. It's
it's
definitely
a
a tool.
and
It's
whoever
definitely a
used the
tool.
tool to create it
But
is the owner.
when we are employed by a higher entity, are we to not tools for for our employer?
Yeah, sure. There's there's an argument for that. That's why your employer gets paid more than you do
But I mean,
because
I
you're a
do.
tool. And
But Jason, I mean, I understand a hierarchical. I understand a hierarchical structure. But you literally get paid to produce a product for that company. That's why they get their name on it. And so
yeah,
the AI is literally taking your product and saying, this is now my product. And so the AI would essentially need to say, I pulled this amount of information from this source, and it should be attributed to the original source.
no,
Okay,
no, because it would pull. So if you're creating a script, it would have to pull thousands of informations from thousands of sources, just like humans do. It's the same thing that we do. It's just doing it. Okay, put it in
If
track.
I have
Tom Paris. Tom Paris, who gets the credited for creating his holodeck program? What was the one? Shelbyville? Not Shelbyville.
Fairhaven.
Fairhaven.
I think that was that Tom or was that Janeway's?
That was Tom.
That was Tom.
So Janeway edited it, though.
Yes.
So Janeway edited it.
Yes.
She edited her
man in there.
Yeah.
Yes. She
Michael-
deleted the wife.
Yeah.
Classic line.
Love it. Delete the wife.
So does Tom Paris get credit for creating that holodeck program, Fairhaven?
Yeah. They gave him the credit in the show, and that's the way they talked about
She
it.
changed Michael O'Sullivan, right? That was his name.
Yes. She made him taller. She made him more learned, and killed his wife.
So Janeway then became a co-writer.
No, his wife never existed.
Okay.
Basically.
Anyway, we
Neither
got
of them
15 minutes left. So let's talk about like in these last 15 minutes, because I ain't gonna lie, this is a really good conversation. Like this is deeper than I thought we would go. What do we see coming for season 2 of Strange New Worlds? We already know Uma's gonna be just fine. And we already know we're gonna get
phasers.
I mean, yeah, and we already know we're gonna get a cameo appearance from Boimler and Mariner, which I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited to see Boimler. Like, you know,
I've always said from Strange New Worlds, I would like to see more first contact from Strange New Worlds.
like first contact situations.
Yeah,
What you mean?
What do you going to strange new worlds, William?
No, not like that. I meant like season 1 ain't nothing but first contact scenarios. Like the first episode of season 1 was the first
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like to see more first contact.
Oh, you want more of that? Okay, I was confused. I know what Strange New Worlds mean.
I think Strange New Worlds should be a first contact show, and I think Lower Decks should be a second contact show.
It is a second contact show.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's how I think it's
But in season 1, we only got introduced to 3 new species: the Guardians. I can't remember the name.
It was only like 3 or 4 episodes where they were actually first contact.
Right.
And that crazy hoe named Angel.
Who played her part?
She did that. They did that. Hell, to pick your pick, take your pick.
They did that.
They.
So okay, I could definitely see that for season 2, and I would actually agree with that, because again, Strange New Worlds, we've mentioned so many species one-offs. Like I would love to see, what was the not Tellarites, the T species from Enterprise that we saw that had 6 legs, that was a fire-based species.
Whoa!
From the Mirror Universe.
They killed one of them during the Mirror Universe. Tholians.
Yeah, we first saw them in original series, and they brought them back for Enterprise.
Yeah,
but we saw Tholians during the original series.
Yes, in fact, it sets up the Mirror episode in Enterprise.
I need to finish.
The Tholian Web season 3.
The Tholian Web. Oh,
that's the Mirror. That's the Mirror episode.
It's what set it up, because the Tholian Web stole the Defiant from our timeline, and we find out it gets thrown into the Mirror Universe in A Mirror Darkly, the 2 episodes of Enterprise.
I still haven't seen that episode yet.
Of TOS?
No, of TOS, yeah.
Because
I'm kind of like saving it.
It's a good Ahura episode.
Oh, great. But I'm kind of saving it so that way when I do watch it, I'll be like as equally as excited as like watching like season 3 of Picard or something.
You'll see Kirk just be like, oh.
Yeah.
So I have. I think I've seen that. Well, I've watched every episode of Star Trek. I've watched over 800 episodes of Star Trek.
There's 800,
and you're proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would not be?
1,000 hours of Star Trek.
Is that? And you're proud of that.
And why wouldn't I be?
I mean,
I'm proud of it.
All I gotta say is, in order to be eligible to marry William, you need to at least watch every episode of Star Trek once.
And I've watched multiple episodes multiple times. So let me know when you want to walk down the aisle, but we'll discuss that a little later.
I do. Marie's gonna slap the shit out of me, but I do.
No, God. But
I wasn't insulting you. Hey,
but
Timba,
I would love to hear an origin Tholian story. I would love to hear like I mean, we've kind of touched on it during Enterprise, but I would like to see where the Xindi are. Like,
we find out in Lower Decks and Prodigy.
Yep, they showed up in both.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would like to see more.
He's adjusting. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know what that was, but I don't appreciate it.
That was the mic. That was the mic.
But yeah, I would like. I do see. I agree. I want to see more like these random species that we mentioned. When we were arguing with the Shellyak, what was that species that hibernates? Like, what was the origin story of that species?
Yeah.
Like,
this is gonna sound so cliche, but I really want a Borg origin story. No Star Trek, no Federation.
They were gonna do it in season 4 of Enterprise, and that's the one thing I'm glad to. I mean, it's season 5 of Enterprise. That's the one thing I'm glad they ended up not doing.
Yeah,
they were gonna do a Borg.
You wanted them to be like mysterious and like let it be.
No, they were.
It just didn't belong in Enterprise.
No,
That whole
they were going to
Borg-
make Alice
2
Creed.
episodes of Borg didn't belong there.
Oh, I remember they were gonna make Alice Creed the scientist in Enterprise and make her the Borg queen that we see in First Contact, causing the time loop and going over and over again. But we've already established. But I'm kind of glad they don't do that because we've already established that there are multiple Borg queens, so it stands to reason that they have to pick a certain species to be eligible to harness that kind of power in a Borg queen. Like you can because we had what, like four different Borg queens. Like
I don't know if there are 4 different ones. I think one of
yeah,
them was the same.
yeah,
one.
we've seen
It was-
4.
I think that we've had 4 different actresses, but I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that they have all been consistently the same character.
No,
Well,
well,
they're the same character. They're the same character, but they each died and they each come back. So it's like,
Who they
no,
didn't
no.
die.
Annie Wersching's queen is an alternate universe queen. All the others are supposed to be the same, whether it's Alice Creed, Susanna Thompson, or the most recent actress
Yeah.
to play. I can't remember her name right now. It was Alice Creed doing the voice, but it was a different actress.
I always thought that it was like a different, and then maybe I'm just following like different BNC canons. Like the Borg have like a backup queen should anything happen to the queen, which they said in Picard, I'm sorry to say the name, that they created like a whole portal for the queen to escape. That's in one universe. In another universe, they have a backup queen and kind of like how they did, not necessarily like a clone, but kind of like how they did in Star Wars with what's his name, Palpatine. Like they just happen to have a copy of him.
Do not even bring that up because
Look, all I gotta say is one thing.
Back to season
the
2.
Nemesis.
Back to season 2. That whole Palpatine. We need to have somebody else so that we can get to talk.
Okay.
Even we won't mention that name.
Well,
so Keith, what do you expect for season? What do you want for season 2?
Well, let me just say that right now they are doing a fantastic amount of press preparing for season 2. Like everybody is going on every show that they can get on, every interview, every article, news.
They're trying to get us to
magazine,
forget about the
everything.
writer's strike.
Well, that and plus we have a major Hollywood movie that is coming out that is doing almost no actual marketing because the starring actor is a piece of garbage.
What movie is that?
What movie?
Flash.
Oh, but I heard the Flash.
I mean, like,
no, yes, but they're not. You don't see cast interviews. You're not seeing a lot of the junket stuff
because dude is a spoiled brat.
Exactly. Yes, but we're seeing Star Trek: Strange New World season 2 do all of the stuff that movie is not. So they're sucking up a lot of the air right now. So that's
everyone
good.
knows we're just going there to see Michael Keaton. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I want to see the whole movie. I saw Spider-Man. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
I was there for Tobey Maguire.
I was there last Saturday morning to watch it. I thought it was better than the first one.
I thought the first one better. You know what? The first half, I thought it was just too fast-paced and confusing. Maybe. I mean, I understand the art and I get that, but like the dialogue was just like right on top of each other. Like every dialogue, there was no space between when one person started talking and the next person started talking. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Well,
but anyway,
what we know we're getting in season 2 is we're getting more Kirk, Lieutenant Kirk here, and him getting to know Lon and getting to know Uhura. We know that Chapel is going to have a few. She said that she's going to have more deeper moments with M'Benga.
I didn't know they had any deep moments at all.
Well, they work together, but apparently they have a whole backstory that they fleshed out this
as far as like character development, not like romantic, like her and Spock.
Well, I'm not sure.
Because you see them kiss again and again, and he's like, yeah.
Well, apparently,
I want the ship to go real fast.
Her and Spock are going to get it on.
Spock needs to get laid. He needs to have a one-night stand with some.
He got laid several times last season
with his fiance.
Yeah,
that don't count.
Fiance.
That don't count. That don't count,
dude. All right.
I agree with William.
That don't count. Like, find me a nice like male Klingon and that don't look like Discovery trash, and give me like a one night stand with him.
This again, huh?
I'm just saying
Klingons. I like Discovery Klingons.
Ew. Anyway, so Keith, what news do we have? Any new news? Or
we're not ready for news. We haven't even finished this part. Hold on.
We're at 50
do you think Star Trek is done showing Klingons?
No.
No,
Because
no.
They're a core species. Like, no.
They're
I'm
going
just
to
saying-
be in season 2. We already know that from the trailers.
They're gonna look bland, but they're gonna be there.
Oh, I don't remember seeing the season.
Oh
two.
my God,
Oh.
maybe they will explain the like
Really?
genetic differences.
That's
Well, they
all I want
tried
them to do.
with Enterprise,
It's like
but-
I want them to acknowledge the importance of Enterprise. I hate that they just like brushed it aside as if we like, bro, they had a genetic virus that they tried.
I hate that they tried to explain it. Like, why do you need to
Look, it's
explain it?
there. It's
It's
there.
an
Just
artistic point of view.
it's
That's it.
there. It's
And they're
on
like, oh,
screen.
it's on screen because people were talking about it. They feel like, oh, we need to explain this. It's like, no, you don't. You just had a change of artistic view. I don't understand why people need a whole canon explanation for
If
why
that's
these
the
look
case, you
Some
may as well
people
get on
did.
to Roddenberry for making the changes in what was it, the Next Generation, like
Well, motion picture first.
and
No,
motion picture.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not getting on them about it at all. Like, it's fine. You're like, technology moved on and they changed it. Okay, I don't need an explanation for that.
We need an explanation.
I do. I'm sorry. Like you can't
And we need 2 series to describe it. Hashtag Paramount.
please.
We would appreciate your sponsorship.
Aaron, I know you're watching right now. Make it happen.
That's like saying,
Aaron,
that's
if
like
you're
saying-
watching right now, you should be on here talking about the writers' strike.
That would be pretty dope. Like
that's
what's
like
up?
saying, you watch Transformers as a kid, and you say, "Oh, the movies they're transformed different. They need to explain that."
Some people say that.
It's called a movie. It's
Literally-
a plot.
Literally, they took 3.5 movies to explain what was going on with Bumblebee's voice and fix it. We explain things in storylines that are good.
Well, because they had no reason to take away his voice. That was part of the
Bro,
story
I'm
that they
sorry.
chose.
But sometimes you need a Don Cheadle to just call out Captain America. Like, wait a minute, and you thought jumping out of a plane headed towards the frozen tundra it was a good idea. Like you just need that guy to be right there. I'm sorry, like you saw that deleted scene from Endgame. Like he just said, and you thought
on the plane, you couldn't jump out.
You are right. You couldn't jump out. Like you couldn't. Like
I thought that the best explanation for the Klingons was Deep Space Nine when they went back
Trials
in
and
time
Tribulations.
to the Enterprise.
And Worf said it.
Worf said we're not going to talk about it.
I thought that was the best explanation ever, and they should just left
It's
it.
something we don't
Here's what
talk
I
about
want for
without
Star Trek
funny.
Strange New World Season
was
2.
funny. It was really funny. It was hilarious, and I thought,
Jason, I got some oceanfront property in Utah I want to sell you. But listen, here's what I want to see in Star Trek Strange New World Season 2. Jason, I love you, brother, but
Timber, his arms wide.
Shaka on the wall.
Okay.
That was good. That was good. To anyone that's watching, if you're not a Trekkie, I'm sorry, but we totally understood
If you're
that.
not Trekkie, why are you even watching?
Why are you even watching? Like, do you get it? Like Shaka when the walls fell.
But you
Like,
know,
Timber, his arms wide open.
Well, so for season 2, I'll be quick because I know we need to cover news and then we need to wrap because
I thought
otherwise
all
we're
this
going to
was
get a
news.
nasty gram from someone. But what I want to see in season 2 for Strange New Worlds, I do think we did a really good job of introducing everyone's backstory, but I would like to see 3 deep dives into characters. I would like to see a deep dive into Uhura's character, her backstory. So bringing in some more elements of her character. And explaining like our past in Kenya and really saying like, hey, you know what? We did this. Excuse me. We did. This is how I got here. This is what I experienced in Kenya, and bringing in more of that like African diaspora and expanding.
I would like to see Kenya in the 24th century.
So you want to see Wakanda?
So basically, Wakanda. Like it's gonna be Wakanda. Like,
I would like to see. Oh my God, I'm forgetting her name. The pilot.
who is the pilot?
Ortegas.
I want to see Ortegas's backstory. I feel
Yeah,
like
she's the only one who didn't get her own episode in season 1.
So basically,
exactly,
we could expect to see a lot from her then.
And
and I
they already
felt like
released a clip from her, the episode that she's focused.
exactly, and I feel like we're
Hey,
gonna get a
puppy.
really good backstory because of the
Come
actual
here,
clip
puppy.
that we've seen in the advertisement when she's dropping through the atmosphere, and it's like I'm loving this, but I really feel like there's another pitch on the back end of that's really gonna like explain like her character and show her depth, other than just that kind of fun radical side. And then I want to see Nurse Chapel's backstory.
Oh, you
Um,
know we're gonna get that.
Yeah,
yeah,
she said that we'll have that.
like we've explored a lot of her character and her person,
Mhm.
but I want to see her like what made her become a nurse and why did she not just go for a doctor right away? And
Well,
I think that could be an amazing, like really strong, like speaking to like women's rights and the sacrifices that women make in life for any varying reason, or like the motivations. Like I really think that can be an amazing episode that really speaks to like
Well,
our societal issues with women.
There shouldn't be any women's rights issues.
Well, I'll say this, then we got to say the segue to news. I actually kind of agree with Michael on this one, and I know this is a
You
shock.
agree with the floating head?
I do, because here's why. And even Marie's gonna shoot me for this, so Marie, please forgive me. But literally in the first episode of TOS and in the last episode of TOS, there's a conversation about women's rights or lack thereof in the Federation at the time, both in the original pilot and in the final episode. Now, we may not like it because it was done in the 60s and the early 70s. We may not like it, but I would like to see something, nothing horrific that would completely contradict Enterprise and Discovery, but something, a segment, something that shows that, yeah, Federation kind of did this. They didn't really show it because they didn't want it publicized. They didn't want it out there because they wanted to show inclusiveness. But when you get through it's like Picard highlighting the BS, of it all, like saying they're not Starfleet,
Some stuff.
Or when Cisco highlighted like the problem with the Federation is Earth.
Yep. See,
there is no crime on Earth, but like there are still societal attitudes and ingrained stereotypes.
Yeah,
within the population of the Federation that still impact women and other or like still impact everyone.
Marie, this is an FTP episode. Okay, Keith, take it away.
Okay. Just a couple quick news things. It was first announced today from Paradox Interactive, announces Star Trek Infinite, a strategy game for PC and Mac OS players. It will be announced today during the Summer Games Fest 2023. It will also be produced by developer Nimble Giant Entertainment. Let's see, it's described as boldly go where no one has gone before, exploring unique stories and quests on PC and Mac OS this fall. Put players in command of one of 4 major powers in the galaxy, each with individualized traits, stories, quests, and more to make their play feel distinct. With stunning visuals, difficult choices, and unique gameplay, this game allows players to experience a beloved franchise in a new way as they navigate contact with other empires and worlds. It sounds like what they've already done to a degree with Fleet Command and Timelines, but hey, if they say it's a new way, it might be something else. But it looks like the 4 powers are Federation, Cardassian, Klingon, and Romulan.
I always forget about the Romulan Star Empire. I literally was writing out what my suspected 4 were. I said Federation, Klingon, Vulcans, and I was about to write the Cardis, but yes.
I'm really surprised that they don't have an alternate to the Federation.
An alternate?
Yeah, because like the Federation is a conglomerate of different star systems and different people.
Right.
But none of the enemies really are.
The Dominion was.
No, the Dominion was like
the Dominion definitely was.
Yeah, because maybe not by choice, but like they were there.
I mean, the founders were more controlling. They were actually genetically modifying these peoples, but it was still a conglomeration of several.
What's it called? The K species that started with a K.
Wow. Oh, no. The
the species that they met before they actually met the Dominion in like
and then they
season.
came back on on
Right,
Lower Decks.
right. Like they were part of the Dominion. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, they
But,
were the businessmen of the
they were the
Dominion.
business, yeah.
but nobody in the Alpha Beta Quadrant are like.
I
you
mean,
know,
not until
like
the
the
Cardassians
The
did.
Cardassians are by themselves. The
The
Romulans are by
Karma. The
themselves.
Karma.
Oh, the
Karma.
Breen joined them. And yes, the Karma.
Oh my god, and that's what I would also love to see. What the fuck a Breen looks like. But the Karma.
I need to know. I need to know.
Princess
Like I
Leia.
need to
It looks
know.
like Princess Leia.
What if we find out that the Breen are actually like an offshoot of the Gorn?
Dun, dun, dun.
Could be.
Wait a minute. Did we get all of the news?
No, that was just the first news story.
Yeah, I
Bring
started
it.
Okay. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the next drop from Master Replicas, we will have the USS Enterprise NCC 1701F will be available for the first time in 2 different forms. You will have the Odyssey class SF as seen in Star Trek Online and as it was seen on Star Trek Picard Season 3.
Hmm.
So it's official. The Odyssey class is now canon.
Yes. Also available tomorrow, the Cardassian Orbital Weapons Platform, the USS Valiant, which was the Defiant concept, the Vulcan T'Pau ship, Archer's toy ship from Broken Bow, the first episode of Enterprise, USS Excelsior, the Nilo Rodus concept number 2, a Klingon D7 battlecruiser, a Romulan bird of prey from the 23rd century, a Klingon bird of prey from the 22nd century, the USS Equinox from Voyager, the USS Enterprise NCC 1701 from Discovery Season 2, for USS Discovery from Discovery Season 1 and 2, a Wallenberg-class tug from Picard, the Klingon Quosh class, a Section 31 drone fighter as seen in Season 2 of Discovery, a Klingon D4 bird of prey, the Riemann Warboard Scimitar as seen in the Star Trek movie we don't talk about.
You know, it would be interesting to see like tugboats in the space dock. But so this is not Eagle Moss, right?
This is what was Eagle Moss is gone.
Right.
And Master Replicas bought up all their inventory and is selling it off in bits like this.
If you ain't gonna show them, don't touch them. That's what I tell them.
Yeah, so like every couple weeks they come out with a new one, so you can get your Defiant although they sold out of this one pretty quick.
I got a Defiant already.
The Bajorge sail ship came out last week, but they came out on Thursday instead of Friday, and I missed it. It was only $12. It sold out in 5 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
And next in news.
All right. Then also Relay Station 47 and XL-size starship, the Miranda-class USS Reliant from the Wrath of Khan. Then specialty releases, dedication plaques for the Shenzhou and the Discovery. And for Outside Star Trek, a Batman mega statue of the Joker, the Muppet 2 from Battlestar Galactica, the Daleks of Skaro figurine multi-pack from Doctor Who, Viserion from Game of Thrones, and UN-1 from The Expanse.
I want a Battlestar Galactica. I really do.
Yeah, they had it a few weeks back.
I'm really starting to believe that all of you all secretly like watch Battlestar Galactica when you should be watching Star Trek.
I have never seen an episode of Battlestar Galactica.
I haven't watched it in a few years, but the most recent Battlestar Galactica was made by Ronald D. Moore, who
I'm
learned all
literally
the
watching Vicious and Blacklist right after this. I've never seen Battlestar Galactica.
I've watched it like at least 5 times, like the entire series.
We're gonna get a nasty gram, guys. So I'm gonna rush us along because I can feel the nasty gram. Next in news.
I've been trying to keep this rolling, and
he really has. Keith really has. Like,
okay. Emmy nominations. Voting is supposed to be open in the next week or so, and there's been a lot of buzz about a certain Star Trek show that ended its 3-season run, and there's a lot of hopes that it will be up for at least visual honors, of course, but also for acting awards, possibly for Sir Patrick Stewart and others, and maybe up for best drama series as well.
Okay, yeah, good for Patrick Stewart, but can we please give something to like Marina or Gates, because like
it could be. I mean, if they have
best supporting.
They wouldn't get it. Maybe supporting, but they wouldn't get it.
I ain't gonna lie. I got to give it to Gates for like she killed it for best. I feel like for best supporting, I feel like she
I
nailed it.
bet you like to give it to
Okay.
Gates. Well, actually, I bet you wouldn't. Never mind.
Okay.
Next in news.
Okay, so coming out today in comics, yesterday in comics, we had Deep Space Nine, The Dog of War, issue number 3, and Star Trek Defiant, The Worf series, issue number 4. And they're building up now towards the countdown to Day of Blood. I believe there's only two more issues of The Dog of War, while Defiant is ongoing. And I'm guessing William's not coming back.
And
there we
I just
go.
have to make sure. I just have to make sure you got all your news out.
He
I have to
so
make sure you
alone.
got all the news out.
He felt so alone. He felt like Tin Man.
Well,
Well,
I mean, there was a couple months ago where Marie had something happen and I had to close out the show. And so I'm willing to.
Well, Keith,
take
you know what?
on
Let
that.
me tell you this. I'm not going to desert you like you all deserted me at the beginning of the show. I just.
We didn't desert you.
We
man.
did not desert you. And did you change your hashtag again?
Of course, I changed it
He
throughout the
did that like
series,
half an
throughout the
hour ago.
episode.
I'm just now noticing it. Moriarty is no Marie. Are what? Like, I'm so serious. I am just now noticing that.
Let's just lay it on the
All right.
table. Michael, when you were gone,
I bet he would like me to lay it on the
we didn't
table.
care. How about that? We didn't care.
Jason, you know what? I know you miss me.
I figured you'd be back once you got into your apartment. I figured,
Just
once you made that left on 9th Street, we thought you were straight.
No, they didn't go on 9th Street. He got on 395 South to 695 and took exit 1B. Pay attention.
Timber, his arms wide open.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. We never fail. We never fail on Trucker's Delight. It never ceases. Yeah,
We do without planned.
Well, I'm glad that you all know where to send the search party.
I mean, all we gotta do is just watch the beginning where you were presumably kidnapped, and then we'll find where you live.
I am glad you all know where to send the search party. I appreciate you all.
Finally,
So
if you have not yet signed the
protected.
petition.
I feel like I need to take back a little bit of what I said because you know what? Starfleet is a promise.
And we literally just got engaged halfway through the show. Remember that.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I had to know that William was going to come find me.
I'm engaged.
Yes, congratulations.
I mean, yeah, like
Congratulations, Jason.
Congratulations. That's actually
You will do an official Star Trek wedding. Once they
I'm letting you
No,
know
they
my
said-
wedding is going to be a cross between
they
Disney
said-
and Star Trek somehow.
we will do an official Star Trek wedding.
I
We'll
said
all
we could
wear
do
white.
it. I said we could do a Star Trek themed wedding. She was like, "No, but
No,
if you
she
wanna
ain't
do
the
a
one
party,
there.
if you want to do a Star Trek party later, we can do that."
No,
Where you
no,
do an
anyone can
online
have a Star Trek
Oh my
party.
God, I just created like 3 shows. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry, red flag.
So
His
we're
eyes
like
been shut.
15 minutes over, guys. We're gonna get a nasty gram.
All right, guys. Thank
right.
you for watching. To the 4 people that have been watching, I'm gonna see where y'all from. I see we got 1 from my page, 1 from
name? What's her name?
Trekkers Delight Twitch, and 2 from Trekkers Delight YouTube
Name.
page.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
We
your
love you all.
comments
We
could have
thank you
popped up.
all. Paramount Plus, we look forward to our sponsorship.
yeah, I mean that'd be kind of great. And you see, we got the resident Trek-spert, we got Michael, and then we have the future Trek star. Please cast me on Star Trek
I guess
Legacy.
I gotta
Please.
start putting someone there so I
please.
could be down like y'all.
If you
Listen,
have not, if you have not signed the petition on change.org, make
Oh, how
Star Trek
many
Legacy with
signatures are we
Paramount
at?
Palace is stuck at 59,000. It's only gone up 1,000 since last week. So
Listen, so I know he said future Star Trek star, but listen, I am literally supposed to be somebody's son on Star Trek. We're literally twins. Look at this nose. I am supposed to have a role, and there is supposed to be a whole Starfleet ship that comes out and finds me because my daddy, who's an admiral,
Admiral
missed
Robert
me.
April.
You already did it. You did it. He got to come find me.
I mean, okay, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I'm just saying.
You do kind of look like him.
I don't even know
I'm
how
just
to do that.
saying. I'm just saying.
How did you
Anyway,
look?
we are 30 seconds away from 15 minutes over. It's been great, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Circus Delight. Please tune in to next week's episode where we will do a full-on review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 1. Hope everyone can make it. Keith, please have a safe camping trip. Okay.
Word to your mother.
Well, the camping trip's the week after, but I'll be driving next week. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jason,
I'll read it.
Facts. Oh God, he's gonna read it. Okay. You know what? I want to see what that looks like. Jason.
Word.
All seriousness, congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely, like for real, congratulations, Michael. It's good to see you again. Floating head and all. And all right, let's get on out of here. Live long and prosper, guys. Boop. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say it on the internet. Yeah, never. yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait. There was a shadow of a church.
Okay. What?
William has questionable
I didn't
ideas
catch
about
that
what he
one.
puts. William has questionable ideas about what he puts on the internet.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Uh-huh.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Wait. What?
Why are we still live?
I'm gonna play Zelda.
In the
William,
Star
we're
Trek
still
Anchorman
live.
says in the live.